Alright, is this thing on?
I think so.
Alright.
Alright.
So,
I'm on this one.
yeah. This is our podcast.
Hello.
It's called GameWalks, and the idea is that, we walk home from work all the time.
Yep.
It's a thing that you gotta do. We also try and podcast from time to time.
We try.
And we're also producers, so we're always interested in efficiency. So then the idea here is, what if we could podcast while we were walking home?
That's, the idea was that every time we walk to the train, we end up just talking about games or stuff happening in the industry and, gossip and all that. So what if we could capture all those kind of from the hip conversations and, see if they provide some
Entertaining.
some entertaining hilarity.
If not totally offensive podcast content.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Well, big week in gaming.
Yeah, so what's the date? Today's the 14th, March 14th?
Yeah, we should do like Daily Show.
Yeah.
March 14th, 2013.
And,
This is GameWalks.
This week in games, StarCraft came out.
Yeah,
expansion
sequel to
pack.
the game of the decade.
So
My game of the decade.
I've been playing it. It's fun. It's good.
It's so fun.
It's really good. I think you're further than me.
Yep, I'm on the third planet.
Third planet. I'm on like the second planet.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play more tonight. It's gonna be sweet. What do you think so far?
It's just awesome, man. The opening cinematic, it's everything I hoped for. It's just the perfect level of campiness with these awesome characters. I love Kerrigan, I love Raynor. I will say
Don't give up on me.
I love it. I was a little, it gets a little lonely as a Zerg player. The Raynor stuff, the Hyperion, it was so cool in Wings of Liberty to be exploring the ship and talking with all these human characters, and now I'm Kerrigan and I'm talking with these Zerg, these personified Zerg characters on my Zerg ship.
Spoilers.
And it's just not as, it doesn't feel as real to me. It's not quite as cool as hanging out on the ship.
It does feel a little bit lonely. I mean, I'm not too far into it, and I've only done about 2 or 3 missions from kind of the capital ship. And I like all the gameplay. Gameplay's great. I think I had more wow factor when I first played StarCraft 2, and just all the production and all the extra trinkets and newscasts and everything you got in the campaign there. But I'm confident it's going to open up. It's gonna.
I will say that
gonna break out a little bit.
The mission design has been really incredible so far. There's been some very fun missions.
I mean, like I'm not great.
Play.
I'm not great at StarCraft, so I don't really know what a lot of the units do, or like which buildings do what. And I think they've done a pretty good job so far of introducing the units and their strengths and weaknesses, and what you want to use them for, and the proper counters. Through at least the first couple missions I've played, so that's been really helpful for me as a noob. So.
And I really like the upgrade system, the way that the upgrade choices aren't necessarily permanent. You've got like 3 options for your banelings. Do you want them to heal other units? Do you want them to be faster? Do you want them to deal more damage? And you make that choice, and then you can swap it out later. You're never able to do that.
I've been trying different things. I think I got my Zergs with like the extra attack speed and the like flying wings now.
So you got to experience one of those evolution missions. I thought that was a pretty neat little thing.
Yeah, they're neat. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean,
the idea was in Wings of Liberty, you would have to make this choice, like, do you want the flame turret or do you want the stealth turret? And you just kind of read about them and then you picked one.
Yeah.
But here, they're like, you got to choose which type of Zerg you want, and we're going to load you into this little scenario. It's not even really a level. It's just like 3 to 5 minutes of like, just play with this option, and then play with that option, and then decide which one you want, and then you can actually.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really clever way to go about it.
I think it's that. So I'm really liking it so far, and I want to play more. I need more time.
Have you had a chance to check out any of the new multiplayer fixings yet?
No, I haven't. I just get so schooled. Even like Bronze League, I lose, and I feel really good.
Well, first of all, I saw a really interesting thing that they did. It used to be the 5 leagues were about 20% each, 20% of the players bronze and silver. Now they made it so the Bronze League occupies a very small percentage of players, like the bottom, 10%. Silver League, again.
That might still be me.
And the reason for that is that they were looking at the amount of different strategies that were being used, and there was like, even though 20% of the players by volume fell into Bronze League, it encompassed, 3 or 4 different like levels worth of knowledge and skill and like knowing what a rush is and knowing what a counter is and whatever. So they intentionally made the Bronze League smaller to graduate you to silver while you try out some of those late stage Bronze League strategies.
Maybe I can graduate to silver. Get a little more practice. I'd probably still have to play Terran though.
Yeah,
So
but I did think one of the really cool things that they introduced is they've got 4 levels that sort of like training wheels or guardrails, I guess, to get you to competitive multiplayer. It starts with this trainer map where you they'll give you reminders. They'll be like, hey, you've got larvae, you need to build some units, or hey, spawn a queen or whatever. They're
I
just
can use
prompting
that.
you the whole time.
I'm so bad at metagame. I just like, forget. I'll like have like all these unused larvae at my base, or like I'll forget to like cue my drones to harvest the resources. And
Yeah.
I'm just terrible.
But and then after that, then they take you into versus AI, and then they take you into unranked human multiplayer, and then finally human multiplayer. So they kind of like guide you through. But the one interesting thing is, they don't let you choose the AI difficulty. They choose the AI difficulty for you based on how you're playing. So it takes something that was like what I used to do when I wanted to de-stress a little bit, like just go roll the AI, and adds the layer of stress onto that. Because I'm like,
wait a minute.
if I lose against this hard AI, then I'm going to get demoted down to only playing the medium AI. So now it's like every element of the game is stressful.
Yeah, well, that's Starcraft for you.
But
that never dull moment.
every single match is a knife fight in the closet.
Yeah.
But I love it. And they added this other new metagame feature where you have persistent experience with each class that you play. So Zerg, you level up by killing units or winning matches.
So one of the exciting things about GameWalks here is that we're about to come upon this crowd of the art students. So we're going to have to navigate.
Yeah.
We're going to take a right over this way.
I don't know. Yeah.
We'll just-
I'm just going to go in the street
Oh,
here.
there's a bus. Look out for the bus.
Oh, this is fun.
And
And a bike lane.
All right. And we'll just...
You know what? Let's go back
we're
through
just
here.
This way.
Sorry.
Excuse us.
Sorry.
All right.
Hey guys. Alright. You make it.
Thank you.
Sorry. Oops, sorry.
All right. And
Well, that's what happens when you're podcasting live. You never know what's gonna happen. And because this is basically an iPhone at the end of a 6-foot pole, there's actually it's sort of like I'm going fishing here, you know? It's like who's
good
gonna
chance that this iPhone
gonna reach out and just grab the
Yeah.
iPhone and just run back. That's okay.
all right, what else has been happening? So last week was SimCity.
Yeah, so we got
Was
two
the,
PC games launching against each other.
Yeah.
SimCity, PC exclusive, SimCity and Starcraft 2.
Yeah.
Which one were you more excited about?
Definitely Starcraft.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I appreciate SimCity, but I mean, it's Starcraft.
But SimCity is a huge launch. I mean, this is not like some small-scale
It's
PC
a huge
port.
launch debacle.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
But before we talk about the debacle, like, who decided to launch this heavy hitter, multi-million-dollar franchise game and a reboot with high critical expectations? Who decided to launch that 1 week apart from a PC-only launch of StarCraft?
Someone who needs to probably get a calendar.
It's like these two titans of PC gaming,
Well,
and
it's not
there's
just
a whole
PC
year.
gaming. I mean, look at how much stuff. I mean, it came out the same day as Tomb Raider, one of the most anticipated new titles
Yep.
of the season. And all around it, you got not only other competitive titles, but other EA titles like Army of Two and that type of stuff. So, in my opinion, just a terrible time to try and release another game because the press attention is just going to get all eaten up by these other big franchises.
And the ads must be incredibly expensive.
That's true. And well, they got a lot of press, but probably not the ones that were.
Yeah, there's a lot of awareness about SimCity because
Yeah.
obviously they're launch servers, which was partly
Yeah.
a DRM issue and partly just a launch server
bandwidth
stability
issue and bugs
issue.
and all types of stuff.
Now, is it
Yeah.
fair to say, like, it's 2013, this is unacceptable?
I think it's fair to say that. I mean,
I know network engineering is hard, it's voodoo, it's black magic, I don't know how any of that shit works. Like, I'm not saying I could fix the problem.
yeah,
But-
but any title like that from a big major publisher has the resources to do that stuff right. They have they have a lot of chance to test that stuff, to do proper beta tests, and to see if they can actually reach those maximum capacity. And EA's gone through this recently, like the Old Republic and a couple other big online titles. So I am surprised that it's happened and it's taken so long for them to react. I mean, we all made fun of Diablo, obviously. I was there trying to log in at 12:01 for Error 37, and it took me about 3 hours to log in, and I took like three or 4 days off of work to just binge on Diablo that week.
Nerd alert.
And by the night, total nerd alert. But by the next day I woke up. I mean, it was fine.
That's
it was
all
all
cool.
working. and we can now joke about it. And Blizzard's obviously learned from it because StarCraft's launch was flawless.
Yeah.
So
Literally, like 12:01.
Yeah, it was like
servers come back online. You're playing.
Yeah, it was great.
It's awesome.
And so that's where EA at that point I'm sure was laughing. And I even saw an interview. I think Kotaku posted it about some EA producer who's like, "Oh, that won't happen to us. We're taking precautions." And so a little bit of hubris there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think there's really an excuse for it to happen anymore. And I think Blizzard learned from their mistake, and EA should have learned from Blizzard's mistake last year. And it's really disappointing because
well, it's actually a pretty good game.
Yeah, I don't think it's now rated like a 66, 67.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that game. I've played 60 rated games. I've made a 60 rated game. That is not a 60 rated game, but it has been shrouded and clouded in all this network stuff, and you kind of wish you could see what it would have been if it were just a normal launch and had a chance to reboot that franchise in the way that I'm sure
we kind of got to see
and everyone wanted to do.
We kind of got to see that because the first 4 reviews had it at a Metascore of 90.
I saw it at 91.
And then it plummeted in large part due to partly the server issues and the launch issues, but also partly as just a industry-wide reaction to this always online DRM and like making something that's designed to stop piracy, but you're not punishing the pirates. You're really just punishing the consumers.
Yeah, the people who pre-ordered, no less.
And the ones who pre-ordered were the ones who were hit the most,
hit the
hardest.
Like deluxe
because it didn't.
People
well, those were the ones that unlocked last.
Yeah, so it's too bad.
So horrible. And the worst part about it is they squandered their lead, right? Like they launched a full 7 days before StarCraft 2, and they spent 5 of those days the game was unplayable, and then maybe some people played it over the weekend, but then StarCraft 2 came out, and it's like, well, you had your chance, SimCity, but you're a summer title for me now,
Yeah.
I always thought it was kind of going to be, but
yeah. Well, we're coming to the end of the line here.
Literally,
and,
this is the end of the Caltrain line.
The Caltrain, which I take home.
Home.
Ironically, I live down by EA now, so I'll pass the EA office on my drive home from the Caltrain and wave to them. But yeah, it's our first episode of GameWalks. We'll see if this can keep up, if people like it. Any final thoughts, Matt?
No, I mean, we'll still do the reviews in the more traditional podcast format, but I thought this was a fun little thing to give a shot.
This is good stuff. All right.
Cool. Good stuff. Signing off.
Next time.